Up, guys? All right, we'll get into the outlook for today. I'll kick it off with the DXY. So DXY on a higher time frame, we are still reacting out of this extreme point, which is the extreme of that bigger leg that we've got there. Um, Obviously come down into that point now. We're pretty aggressive into this point, so it may not hold. It might just get pushed through, just fine. On a lower time frame in terms of what we've got. So obviously reacting out of this point internally on the 15 minute, I'm still working inside of this range. Obviously just starting that retracement inside of that leg there. Pretty slow reaction out of this point, nothing extreme by any means. We've got our first initial break here with a retest sitting here and our extreme point there. We've been mitigating this sort of stuff, but obviously failing to push through. So just looking for price to come down. We are reacting out of this area here, which shouldn't hold. It should really be a smart money trap. I'll just mark that out. It's obviously retest of that break as well. So really shouldn't hold. So what I'm really looking for is, yeah, for price to come down, mitigate this area, and then give us that reaction up from there. Obviously, it's generating a lot of liquidity. So we'll see what it's going to do as it works its way down a little bit here. This point being a smart money trap, it may just want to induce something and push its way up from there. But yeah, really just looking for it to come down into this sort of area and drive up a bit further to come and mitigate at least our decisional of that break there before potentially pushing bearish. Given the strength of this point, though, we do very well have the potential to push obviously a lot higher from here. So we'll monitor that coming into next year now. EU, now we've got very, very choppy price action. I'm waiting to see what London Open does and what London does today to kind of decide whether I'm going to be trading this week or not. Might be a complete no trading week. Right now, as it stands, it's looking like it's probably going to be a no trading week. We can just see the volume is just dead. So yeah, we'll see what it's going to do. It's been pretty low volume throughout today. This is just not looking promising for good volume for today. But if it does pick up and we do have a fairly normal price action, it does look like we're going to, be trading as usual. What I'm looking for on EU is we have now pushed up. We've induced the retest of that break, which is obviously what I was looking for on Friday, and had a little bit of a sell-off. We're mitigating this area here now, which should be a smart money trap. It does go against the structure cycle. We are mitigating this area, but that supply didn't take any liquidity. So it might just act as a smart money trap to bring in some sellers to come up, get the mitigation of our extreme area, sell off from there, target that liquidity. However, we can sell from where we are given it has taken its retest. This point here has obviously broken bullish. So if we do get that break to the downside from here, it's looking like we're going to be pushing bearish. I've got an alert here just so I can monitor a new range. If we do break this low, I will be working with that as my new leg. I won't be looking to buy really until we get to here at the very least. I'll need some really good yeah, liquidity to buy from here, just given what we've taken. I'm more or less going to be expecting it to come down and sweep that low, but we'll just monitor what price does. If we yeah, work down something like this, get something like that, induce into mitigation, that'll be not too bad for buyers. But yeah, probably going to be pushing through this whole area here, just given we're at the top of a new hourly leg. But yeah, as it stands right now, that's all I'm really looking for. I'm not even going to touch AU. So I'll quickly skim over it. I'm not looking to do anything on AU. It's just its structure's just really, really, really average. Obviously we're inside of this leg here. We've mitigated, kind of failed to break, mitigated this point, but we've given that bigger two leg. Might be an inducement of sellers. It's really hard to say with AU at the minute, especially being at the top of a new hourly leg as well, and right at the extreme area of that bullish leg. So look, it buys make sense to come and take that. And I do like, the outlook for buyers. But our structure is just really, really average. Like I do see this as a two leg manipulation out of here. So, we might very well pull up, mitigate this point, obviously fail to break below, get some sort of manipulation and be able to, buy it up, target all this, target that, and target that 4 hour high that's up here. but the structure is just not convincing on who's got control. So it would be really, really, we would need to see something really, really clean in order to be able to trade it. But I'm not overly interested in trying to trade it, in all honesty. So I'm just gonna kind of leave AU. I'll just check on it here and there, but I'm not keen on it. I'm not even gonna bother setting an alert. I don't want to have it too much in my awareness. GU on a higher time frame, obviously still working our way up. We've still got our extreme area up here. This whole area here is a 4 hour point that we are inside of. It's mitigated about there. So it can very well sell from where it is, but I've just got the 2 hour point marked out at the top, unmitigated, because it's quite clean. Cool. All right. Sweet. Obviously, I had a break to the downside now. So obviously, as we know, we're at the top of that 15-minute external leg, and still at the top of that hourly external leg. So it does make sense to sell. And this just lines up quite nicely with that and that 4 hour mitigation. So from a few different outlooks, it makes sense to sell 15-minute and hourly retracement and 4 hour continuation. So I do like the idea of selling. To be able to sell it, what we've got as it stands right now, we've got our first internal break to the downside here. Got our decisional point here. Most of the decisional was mitigated before we broke, but it's left a 5-minute area that's unmitigated. We've obviously got good liquidity underneath. Since taking this low, which is a good 15-minute inducement, we pulled up quite hard and are getting that slow sell-off that we typically see from a smart money trap, generating a lot of liquidity. So this area here shouldn't hold. So what I'm looking for, this high sits outside of Asia. If we can pull up, induce that smart money trap, I'm happy to work with that as a medium inducement into the mitigation of our decisional point and look to then sell off from there. The only sort of caution that I have with this is one, that's a really good inducement. It's whether or not that's going to be a good enough inducement. And this is also quite shallow in that range. It's a pretty shallow retracement. So the better option, the better scenario would be to come up, induce that decisional, and then sell off from there. That's kind of best case scenario with it. I've got an alert set at this low in case we do get that bit of a sell off from here. That'll just create really nice liquidity as retest that we can come up, induce, mitigate, and then sell off. That helps our play for sells pretty substantially. But yeah, I'm happy to sell either way at the mitigation or inducement of that point. I'm not interested in buying it, not until we at least get here. That's obviously it's more or less the decisional or it's the extreme of the leg. The decisional was here, which has already been mitigated on that immediate pullback before news last week. So we can get the decisional inducement into mitigation of what is our extreme because there's nothing left to mitigate and then buy up from there. Quite clean, works well. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting under here. And same sort of thing. It makes sense given its positioning to have that deeper sell-off, especially to some of like these extreme areas down here, even like decisional points that sit around there. So, but yeah, we've got a lot of bullish momentum. So, I'm happy to buy it if we come down here. We just need to get there first. And I don't want to try and buy it until we get there. Yeah, obviously, this is a really good medium inducement, but this area here shouldn't hold. It's taken no liquidity. And this demand here hasn't done anything in way of its impact on the market. And we've already had one, second break. We've had numerous breaks to the downside now. I don't see much of a reason to try and buy it where it is. It does have a good amount of liquidity built up here. But yeah, it's we don't really have a medium inducement for it. Like that's not a medium inducement. We don't have a medium inducement for buyers. If we break down another time, we're gonna have 3 breaks to the downside, which I don't really like trying to buy off the back of. So yeah, we'll monitor it and see what it does. Like it may shape up for buys. You could get the mitigation of this area here, but I'd rather just keep selling it given its positioning. And it's obviously yeah, it's divergence with EU is yeah, clean for selves given the take of that retest. So we'll yeah, we'll monitor what it wants to do. It's looking pretty choppy and slow at the minute. So we'll see. We'll see. These are quite nice inducements out of that smart money point, and it does make sense to push through it. The only issue with, yeah, like I said, trying to buy it is we just don't really have anything to use to buy it, you're kind of just going off the back of Asia price action, which obviously isn't ideal. Yeah, so I'm not too keen to try and do that. I'd rather just sell it as we come up a bit higher and go from there. News-wise for today, I don't think we have anything. I think it's just orange folder from memory. Yeah, just orange folder. Same with Forex Factory. Forex Factory doesn't even have anything listed. Good. Oh, it does actually. Well, there you go. Doesn't have the Euro news, but yeah, kind of just waiting to see what price action is going to do, guys, and whether it's going to be worthwhile trading this week or not. So we'll play it by ear a little bit.